the concrete as we enter the lock on the right, the round corner about 10 feet above the water. And then on the left side where the gentleman is sitting, the fisherman is sitting, look on the left side of the blue part of the stairs called the stringer. On the right you'll see a red line, horizontal line. On the left you'll see a yellow horizontal line, just near his head on the blue side there. That was the height of our water in our flood in 2006. This is right up to the top of that black beam. We couldn't go through this lock the whole month of July. You see it has a date of 2806. It lasted all the way through July because they could get the water down to the Atlantic fast enough. Everybody on the right, please make sure your arms are in. We're going up against the hard concrete wall here. Ashley's going to hook us up to another wire. Going to go up against the wall. And the gate is closing behind us. If you didn't get a picture of an opening, and you took one now, nobody would ever know the difference if it was still there. Free to move around. Now what's going to happen is the exact opposite of what we did going down. What we're going to do now is Mark's going to walk down to the control station. He's going to raise those valves up, and that's going to let water in from the land cut in front of us. Now you remember those tunnels that are in the wall. Now they're 14 feet below us. And you remember those 3-foot openings every 30 feet. Well, the first one comes out up near that front ladder on the left there. So when he raises the valves up, the first thing that'll be happening will be the gates behind us will close. You'll notice they're still open. They do that deliberately. They set limit switches to shut off the motors before the gates hit. That way they preserve the 100-year-old gears, that they don't hit each other. And they'll close that with bringing water in. So the first thing will happen is the gate behind us will close. In normal times, and today might be more normal than it was yesterday, you'll hear the gate pop shut. Yesterday we still had fairly high water and you couldn't hear it pop shut. But you'll hear it pop shut, I think, today. Then the second thing, a couple seconds later, will be the water coming in. You have to watch the center of the lock, about 50 feet this side of the angel wings. That's where the first water will come in. In this lock, it's a mixture of air and water. There goes Mark down to the end now. And then you're going to see another boil of water coming towards us every 30 feet. There'll be one right here. And only the first and second ones up there. The rest look like manatee slicks or whale slicks. That's the water coming in from the land cut through the ports. We started the process. Listen to the gate closing. The zebra mussels should be disappearing now. They are. Not much of a pop there, just a little pop. Here comes the water right in front of us. We go up in about the same amount of time we went down. Pretty interesting 1900 engineering. We didn't have these zebra mussels in this country until 1985. And the way they got here was in the ballast water of a Russian freighter who illegally dumped his water into Lake Erie. And there were larvae of these from the Black Sea in it. And they've spread all over North American freshwater. Pretty much every place in freshwater we have them. Now, they're an invasive species. They are nature's most perfect water filter. I don't know if you noticed that many of them were spitting out water, but that water they spit out is drinkable. It's pure. And the way they achieved that, though, is to get rid of all the nutrients in the water. They interrupt the food chain. The predictions were that the plant life would die, algae would not grow anymore, the fish would die. 25 years later, none of that has happened. Doesn't mean it won't, but none of that has come true. The other thing that they were concerned about is there's a lot of waterfowl, different ducks, double-breasted cormorants, Canada geese, that love to eat them. They were afraid that those birds would wind up with a similar problem to the eagle, where they began laying thin eggshells. Now, the eagle's problem wasn't zebra mussels, it was technically, or theoretically, DDT. There's a dispute on that, too. But that hasn't happened either. They were afraid that the birds would interrupt the reproductive cycle. That has not happened yet either. Once again, it doesn't mean it won't. It just hasn't happened. Now, you'll find a lot of people in this state, north St. Lawrence River, and probably in Canada as well, that love the zebra mussel. Simply because they've created new industries wherever they are. Up in St. Lawrence, Alexandria Bay, they created a dive industry. 25 years ago, you couldn't see 8 feet into the St. Lawrence. Now you can see 60 or 70 feet. And now there's an industry up there diving direct to the St. Lawrence. So you go up there and talk to people, they won't say a bad word about the zebra mussels. Does anybody have any questions so far? Well, that's what we talked about on the way down. That's what those lines are for folks to grab onto.
You hollered all after. I'm just teasing. How did you know we would be with them on the way back?
Well, because we were turning around and coming back in.
Does he have any way of communicating with both?
Oh, yeah, sure. The maximum length, the lock's 328 feet long, but they want to limit it to 300 feet. 300 feet by 44 and a half feet wide is the max. Some of them would, but they would never make it on the canal because of the low bridges. So what we see, we have 3 very large cruise ships that operate here of the American, Canadian, Caribbean cruise lines. They're 250 feet long and 42 and a half feet wide, 100 passengers. They make 14-day trips between Rhode Island and Chicago. Then they drop you off in Chicago and you fly back. And they take another load of people from Chicago back to Warren, Rhode Island. They do that 16 times a year through here. We get a chance to lock through with them occasionally, 3-4 times a year. And just the 2 of us will take up the whole lot. We just barely fit. In fact, yes. What was stuck in Amsterdam?
Swedish.
Oh, really? Yeah, when was this? The Grand Prix? Yeah. Was it heading east or west? Oh, okay.
It's west.
From all the high water. Yeah, no, I didn't hear about it. Yeah, we were closed for 8 of the last 11 days. Oh, I didn't know that. Gotcha. Yeah, those locks catch heck down there with all the debris. This water comes from, the water in the eastern section comes from Hinkley and Delta Lake. Hinkley Dam and Delta Lake. When they have a lot of water coming, all the debris that collects up on top washes over, and then for the next 4 or 5 days, the canal is a mess. All kinds of stuff comes through, everything from telephone poles to pull uprooted trees. And then it takes another 5 days to root it out. At times like that, it's an obstacle course trying to get around this stuff.
12 miles to the next log. When's this closed? It's closed at 5.
The Truce or the 15th of November? I can't remember which.
No, I mean on a daily basis. Can you do 20 hours a day or night?
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
Now, if you look over to your left, past the vehicles, those weeds out there, that's the original Erie Canal. It's a wetland 70 feet wide because the second canal was built right on top of the first canal.
Do they close the locks at night?
Wait, are you calling me? Negative, Jerry. I'm trying to call Miracle. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Jerry, how far up was that?
They were right past the Great Hall.
Okay, they didn't have any lights on the channel today.
They didn't on the way down.
Okay, thank you.
The question is, are the locks open 24 hours a day? And the answer is no. In the old days they were. Today they're open, there's 3 different time periods. From May till the first week in June, they're open from 7 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon. Then from that period in June until Labor Day, they're open from 7 in the morning till 10 at night. And then after Labor Day, they're open from 7 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon. So they close at 5. We actually have an evening cruise this evening. And the way that works is commercial boats can request openings anytime. So they will give us what's called a rover. If we were going to go through the whole canal, which we're not, that person would have to drive their car here, operate this lock, close the lock, jump ahead of us to the next lock, open that one, close that one. There's 5 sections across the canal, and each section has its rover, so we'd have to do that for about 30, 40 miles.
Yeah, well, he was telling them they might not make it.
I'm sorry?
He was telling them they've got 12 miles to go to the next lock and they might not make it.
Oh, yeah, let's keep you guys going.
6.5 knots.
Okay, I'll come by you, okay?
Yeah, afterwards.
Yeah, plenty of room, no problem. So anyway, the canal over